We are, 1 second. Just gonna do my full wavy hair routine today in 60 seconds. Okay, we're going live there and here. Okay, we're set to go live. So let's get to it. So I washed my hair like 2 days ago, maybe yesterday. I don't know. I washed my hair like 2 days ago. I didn't add any styling products on wash day. It feels like my hair makeup is really cakey today. I don't know what that's about. Anyways, and then I just re-wet my hair in order to restyle it today. That's totally something you can do. If you run out of time on wash day, or it's time to wash your hair but you don't have time to fully style it, it's okay. You don't have to put your product in on wash day. You can just let it air dry, put it up in a messy bun, and re-wet it a day or two later and style it a day or two later. I don't do that often, but I do it from time to time. Okay, so the key is you want your hair to be soaking wet when you apply the products. That might be a little tricky for me today, just because I'm not right beside a sink. So we'll see how wet I can get it, but just know that it's best if you can have your hair fully saturated, soaking wet when you're applying products for best results. And we're just gonna get right into it. By the way, this weekend, I'm gonna be in Toronto at CurlyCon. So if you're gonna be there, come say hi. I'm also going to be doing a breakout session in person specifically about how to dry wavy and curly hair. I would love to see you there. Come check that out. It's basically going to be like a live demo on a mannequin head, not dissimilar to these lives. So if you've been on a regular on my lives, I'm sure you'll love that breakout session. Do I have a brush? Of course not. That would make way too much sense. All I have is a diamond brush. Not even a real diamond brush. Oh my God, you'll be there. That's so much fun. I'll see you there. Is anybody else gonna be at CurlyCon? Come up to me and say hi, please. That'd be so much fun. Okay, so we're gonna start product-wise. I'm gonna go with AG Recoil. AG actually is gonna be at CurlyCon. I'm not in touch with AG at all, even though I use their products constantly. So I did 3 pumps because I'm trying to get better at not applying my hair product in sections just for like speed. When you're applying AG, you really want to make sure, or Recoil, you really want to make sure you emulsify it in your hands first. Did I take my rings off? No. Should you? Yes. I know that always stresses people out, but anyways. Okay. I'm gonna rake the AG Recoil through. Now, AG Recoil is sort of like a curl cream. Hello from the Netherlands. It's sort of like a curl cream, but it's actually a curl activator. Not all curl creams are curl activators. So if you're looking to encourage your curl pattern, I would definitely look for a curl product, like a moisturizing product, that has activating properties like Recoil, Living Proof Curl Activator, something like that. Those can be great products. Now, I don't always use Recoil. If I feel like my hair is getting like a little heavy or over moisturized, I will swap it out for a leave-in conditioner for a couple of wash days because Recoil is a little bit heavy, but I do use Recoil a lot. Okay, so there. My hair's not super wet, only because I'm not right beside a sink right now. Okay, this is a little risky, guys. I have a tube top on, so we're gonna see how this goes. I'm hoping it will stay up. It's the Aritzia one, so it's usually, okay, excuse me. Are you gonna help? Are you gonna help? Hi, get out of the way. This is Sterling. He's my buddy. I don't know if TikTok can see him, but everybody else can. Okay, it's pretty wet. Okay, so now we're gonna go in with so again, we started with like a cream-based moisturizing product. This one has an activating like properties to it. And then we are gonna go in with Irish Sea Moss Gel. He is an English Mastiff. Good call, whoever just said that. People always think that he's a, what's the other type of Mastiff? People always think he's the other type of Mastiff, but anyways, yes, he is an English Mastiff. Okay, so we're gonna go in with some Irish Sea Moss gel. I'm pretty like generous with the Less Brands Irish Sea Moss gel. This is my favorite gel. If you wanna give it a try, I do have a code. It's GHWH10 for 10% off. I do usually diffuse my hair. We're gonna diffuse my hair today. Okay, so again, we're gonna rake that through. Are you helping today? He actually went swimming today, even though there's like 5 feet of snow on the ground. But it was 17 degrees today, Celsius, and 17 degrees yesterday. Even though we literally still have like 4 feet of areas. Gotta love Ottawa. And it's calling for 21 degrees this weekend. Still have like 4 or 5 feet of snow. We had so much snow this season in Ottawa. One second. Oh yeah, English Mastiffs are the sweetest dogs ever. Hi, little buddy. Yeah, the ice storm was wild. The salon that I worked in had lost power. My house lost power for 2 days. We had a really bad ice storm. I actually have some cool footage of it. I probably should have posted it to my stories. Okay, so that's probably good enough. I always rake my product through because I'm always nervous it's not going to be evenly distributed. But anyways, that's probably good. My hair is not wet enough for sure. You want your hair to be fully saturated for best results. And the reason for that is it's going to make your hair much easier to work with if your hair is quite wet. For most hair types, your hair is going to clump easier. You see how my hair is quite stringy right now. If it was wetter, it wouldn't do that so much. But again, I'm not by a sink right now, so I'm kind of at the mercy of my spray bottle. So I'll see how wet I can get it. And then we're just gonna go in and start styling. So after I add my products, I do one more step before I start drying my hair, and it's a very important step. It's the step that I call styling, and it's where I clump together this stringiness, get rid of any wet frizz. There are a lot of different ways you can do that. You can rake and shake, you can praying hands, you can do something like switch to condition instead. But the key is you want to create clumps, and you want to eliminate that wet frizz, because wet frizz becomes dry frizz, okay? Okay, so now, I don't know if you can tell, but my hair is starting to like naturally clump together. Do you see how it was really stringy before and now it's starting to naturally clump? That's because it's starting to be wet enough. Okay, so now we are going to just grab a clip, 2 clips actually, and I will also just sit on a towel because otherwise my chair is going to get all wet. And y'all have to tell me if my top is coming down too much. I'm nervous. Okay. If you want me to do your hair and you're located in the Ottawa area, I do model callouts periodically. I'm a hairstyling apprentice at Curlology Salon. So I'm not currently taking clients because I'm still learning, but I do model callouts as I'm learning new skills. So you can come in and get your hair done for free as I'm getting ready to take paid clients in a certain skill set. So keep an eye out for that. Now, as I go through, because I didn't take as long as I normally do to apply my product, if I feel that like there's not very much slip in a certain area, or I feel like there's not quite enough product, I can just add a little bit more gel. So I go in horizontal sections. So I start with my bottom of my hair, and for basically everything up to, I think it's called the occipital bone, like basically everything up until the top of my head, I'm just gonna go through and brush, okay? And then rake, and then shake. Rake and shake is basically what that is. I don't have any gray hair. If it looks like I have gray hair, it's just the light. Rake and shake. This is my natural color, but I have no gray. That's why I don't color my hair. I don't know why, but I'm 32, still no gray. Okay, so then I'm gonna take another section. I usually take one from the back now. And again, all I'm trying to do is smooth wet frizz and get my hair to create nice clumps, larger clumps that aren't as stringy, okay? Now, a lot of people skip this step, but the reason that I do this step is because it gives me a lot more longevity out of my style. When I have these like slightly more defined curl clumps that are a little bit larger, it helps me get 3, 4, sometimes 5 days out of my style. Now, okay, so you see, I'm raking through with a little bit of tension, and it gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, I mean, the end ones are kind of big, but whatever, give it a little shake. If I wanted to, I could break those 2 end ones that were a little bit big into slightly smaller ones. Need advice on fine wavy hair? You always lose wave on second day and need to refresh. So fine wavy hair is definitely tricky. It's its own beast. I would say make sure you're using lightweight products. Make sure that you have enough protein in your hair. Make sure you're using like products that contain protein ingredients. Typically fine hair like craves protein, but don't overdo it. The other thing I would say is make sure you're using a gel and a lightweight stronghold gel. Hello from Germany, that's awesome. The bone in the back is the occipital. The bone on the sides are the parietal ridge. Thank you, I'm learning. I'm about to start hair school first week in May, so I'm gonna learn all of that. I assume you're a hairstylist, Dina? Okay. So you can see from side to side, I'm just going through and raking through and giving it that little shake to revive. I don't like to scrunch as I go on my hair. Depends on the head of hair that I'm doing. But on my hair, I prefer to wait until I'm micro plopping once I've done my whole head of hair. And then I'll do like one big scrunch to encourage the curl pattern, but everybody's hair is a little bit different. I find if I wait to the end to scrunch, it will help me reduce the amount of frizz. Are you using products each time you rake and shake, or have you already applied? You may be late. Yeah, I apply product all over first. So I apply the product all in one step, and then I go through and rake and shake each section. Okay, so go through and you see you're creating 1, 2, 3, 4 individual curl clumps. Give it a little shake. Have you ever done a keratin treatment? As a general rule, I do not recommend keratin treatments for any type of textured hair. Now, that being said, I know especially some of my coilies and kinky hairs, there are some out there who like keratin treatments. It does maybe loosen your curl pattern a little bit and help to control some frizz. However, as a rule, I would, this is just like my personal philosophy, I would rather that you start with learning. Now, if you already know how to do this, then disregard this comment, but I would rather you start with learning how to master your natural curl pattern in what it wants to be and get it really healthy and frizz-free at whatever your natural curl pattern is, and you don't need a keratin treatment to make your natural curl pattern look beautiful. Okay? I would start there. And then once you've done that and you know how gorgeous your natural curl pattern can look, and you're like, no, I just want the results that I get with a keratin treatment for whatever reason. Of course, it's your hair, you can do whatever you want. But certainly, like keratin treatments, so be wary of that. So if that's not one of your goals, I would definitely avoid it. Yeah, just as a rule, like for curlies, I would avoid keratin treatments. But I know there's some scenarios where people swear by them, especially if you're trying to loosen your curl pattern. But again, it's not the approach I would take. I also don't have very much experience with kinky and coily hair, so take what I'm saying with a grain of salt when it comes to the kinky and coily hair categories. Okay, so you can see like we're already, like what are we? We're like 10 minutes into my hair routine now, and we're almost at the top when it comes to styling. Hi Tony, hello from Greece. We've got people from all over today. Now guys, I wanna remind you, if you are in or near the Toronto area, I'm gonna be at CurlyCon this weekend. There's a link in my bio to get tickets. If you're not in the Toronto area, you can get virtual tickets to some of the events, I think for as little as $5, I wanna say. Don't quote me on that. Link in my bio for tickets. It's gonna be Saturday and Sunday the 15th and the 16th, and I'm so excited to meet some of y'all. If you see me while I'm there, please just come up and say hi. I am hosting a breakout session as well that you can definitely check out. And the breakout session is gonna be specifically about how to dry your hair. We're gonna talk a little bit about air drying. We're gonna talk a little bit about diffusing. Yeah, and I'm really, really excited to meet some of you in person. Hello from London, hello from Romania. So the products I use today are AG Recoil and then Les Brand's Irish Sea Moss Gel. The Irish Sea Moss Gel, if you want to give it a try, I have a 10% off code, link in my bio, GHWH10. You guys know it's like my tried and true favorite. Okay, so again, we're just raking through or brushing through to smooth the frizz. Then I rake my fingers through to create these individual curl clumps. Give her a little shake to revive that curl pattern. Hi from Nova Scotia. Hello, my locals. Well, not locals, I'm just Canadian. So we're gonna go into drying once we get there if you wanna stick around. Hi from Saudi Arabia. Oh my God, we got people from all over the world today. I'm not gonna talk about drying your hair right now, but if you wanna come back and watch the recording later, it'll be saved to both YouTube and Instagram, or I mean, you can tune in. I wonder if the virtual breakout session will be recorded. I don't know. At CurlyCon, I'm gonna be doing a whole breakout session just about drying hair. And then you can just stick around and watch my live today too. Okay, so as I get to this top section, this is where I start being a little bit more extra with my styling. So you could just keep doing what I've been doing up till now, that rake and shake method all the way through to the top. That'd be the fastest way and we would be done in about 3 minutes. I like to get a little bit, actually I will do that just here too. But as I get closer to the front, I like to get a little bit more extra because the top section of my hair is by far the least spirally section of my entire head. And it's also the most visible. Yes, I'm gonna be at CurlyCon. There's a convention in Toronto this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. You can get virtual tickets, you can get in-person tickets at the link in my bio. So hopefully I'll see some of you there. Okay, so now I've got this kind of like, from my parietal ridge roughly. Thank you for whoever gave me that info. Maybe I'll do one more just to the back. So even like a slightly smaller section than just from the parietal ridge and the occipital ridge up. Basically, I'm just wanting to create those nice chunky like curl clumps that are frizz free. So do you see how like we have these nice curl clumps and they're not stringy? And they're not frizzy. That's what we're trying to create before we go in with frizz, or before we go in with drying. The crown of your head is right here, I believe. Like this isn't the crown. This is the parietal ridge, this is the occipital ridge, I think. We're learning. Okay. Okay, so now once we get here, this is by far the least spirally part of my entire head. It is a loose S-wave. Like at best, like all right here, it really struggles to hold a natural curl pattern. So that's why once I get to this section, I usually start artificially enhancing the curl pattern, okay? So that's when I'm going to take my brush and I am going to start switching to a brush curl. You don't have to do this. You can keep doing the same technique all the way up to the top, and then your whole thing will take maybe 10-15 minutes, and you might get more longevity out of your style by doing this, right? Because you'll have a little bit more definition, a little bit less frizz. Now, if you do all of this, the rake and shake method, and then you find you don't get any more longevity out of your style than when you just do like a squish to condition, or like a squishing and then diffusing, then don't do it. You know, everybody's hair is different. And the truth is, not everybody sees a massive difference. Some people do, some people don't. Everybody's hair is so unique. The key is to find the most efficient routine that's going to maximize the longevity you get out of your style. Just because it works for me or someone else doesn't mean it's going to necessarily add value for you. So what if you get frizz after you have styled it? Well, the question is, what is causing the frizz? Is it because you're not using the right products? Like maybe you're not using gel, for example, or is it because you're touching your hair too much while it's still wet? Is it like there's a lot of different things that could be causing that? Is it because you're manic pixie diffusing, where you just go like that while you're diffusing? You're touching your hair with your hand a lot while you're diffusing. So the question would be, why is the frizz getting generated after you've styled it? And that's what you'd want to start understanding. Are you rubbing your hair with a towel after you've styled it? Could be all sorts of reasons. Okay, so let's describe to you what I'm doing here. So a Denman brush curl, the idea is you are artificially enhancing the curl pattern a little bit. Using a handle of a brush, you could finger curl instead. There's lots of different ways you can do this. I prefer brush curl. I find it pretty easy, but I've been doing it for a long time. You run it through the bristles one time and you start rotating. This is a great technique for people whose hair tends to be flat on top or where the curl pattern doesn't start that close to the root. You're gonna start rotating around the handle, okay? And you're gonna pull through until just the tip of the hair is running through the bristles for a little bit of grip. And then you are going to rotate until it is right up until the root. Now, if you can't just pull it out, like some people can just slide it out from here, their hair has really good slip once the product's in it. If you can't do that, that's okay. You're just gonna unwind, okay? If you can't do that, you would just unwind the other way a few times. But you should never ever get the brush caught in your hair. The only way that would happen is if you're wrapping around the bristle multiple times. So don't do that, okay? If your hair is too short to use a Denman brush, a couple of alternatives, or to do a Denman brush curl, you can just do that, like that, okay? That's great for really short hair. Or traditional finger curling is another option if you're trying to enhance the curl pattern. I'm not in America, I am Canadian. Why do you think I'm American? There's like a Canadian flag in my bio. Manic pixie diffusing is like a friendly term that I use for when people diffuse and they like keep moving the diffuser. So they literally, this is real-time speed, they go like this. With the diffuser turned on, that's a #1 way to cause frizz. It's too much movement of the diffuser. Yeah, I'm Canadian, guys. I'm from Ontario. And it causes a lot of frizz. It's funny when people think Americans and Canadians sound the same. First of all, because Americans have so many different accents and so do Canadians. But it's kind of like the same thing with like Brits. Like people from England have so many very different accents. Like just because you come from England doesn't mean you all sound the same, right? But if you're not from England and you're not used to listening to people with a British accent, you might not necessarily pick up on the differentiation between the British accents. I think it's kind of like that for people from Canada. Like if Newfie versus from Toronto or Vancouver or Alberta, like you have a very different accent. But if you're not from Canada, you might not necessarily realize that as much. I'm from Ontario. Okay, so we're just going through with the Denman brush, and so I have the Ontario accent is less like pronounced, well, I mean, according to who, I guess. But I guess the Ontario accent is a more common accent because it's a city accent versus like if you hear like, if you've ever seen the show Letterkenny, that is like a really like rural Ontario accent, and that's also a Canadian accent that people really associate with like rural Ontario or like rural Canadian. I'm a city girl, so I have a city accent, which is more of like an international maybe version of the Canadian accent, probably because there's more international influence in cities. Yeah, well, Michigan's not that far from where Canada, I don't think, eh? I mean, within like probably 15 hours driving. In Canadian terms, that's not that far. I can't do the Newfoundland accent. Oh yeah, for sure, bud. Yeah, that's all my family talks like that. I do say a lot, and I know I say about weird. I don't know, say y'all, stuff like that. Michigan is 4 hours from Toronto. Yeah, and I'm about 4 hours from Toronto, so we're probably, I don't know how far we are. Do I ever air dry? No, I always diffuse my hair. The results are very different. My hair is much more spirally, like significantly more spirally when I diffuse it. And my goal with my hair is to make it look curlier. I prefer when it looks curlier. So I diffuse. I also like my hair to be bigger and have more volume. And when I diffuse, I have more volume. Hi from Newfoundland. We were just talking about the gorgeous Newfoundland accent. One of my favorite wavy hair content creators on YouTube is a Newfie. I forget her name though. You're from Tennessee. Tennessee is an awesome accent. Saskatchewan. I find Saskatchewan is a pretty neutral accent actually. I guess it depends where you're from in Saskatchewan. Okay, so again, you put your brush at a downward angle. And you start rotating. Again, you only want to put the hair through the bristles one time. We're really rotating. The good witch next door. I love my little witchy audience. Come here. Hi. I'm a witch too. You start rotating just around the handle. You don't want to rotate around the bristles because you're going to get your hair stuck in the brush. There you go. 2.5 hours north of Toronto. We got lots of Ontario people. So if anybody's going to be in Toronto this weekend, guys, I'm going to be at CurlyCon. So come say hi, please. You can get tickets at the link in my bio. If you can't go in person, there's some virtual tickets as well. I'm hosting a breakout session that's specifically about diffusing your hair, or really it's about drying your hair. So if you're interested in learning more about some like tips and tricks for how to effectively dry your hair to get the results that you're looking for without creating frizz, then there's going to be a breakout session that I'm hosting for CurlyCon. I don't know if it's going to be filmed and a part of the virtual ticket or not. You might be able to get information from the hosts about that. Is anybody going to be at CurlyCon? I would say my hair is a bit curlier than yours, but the Denman brush makes my hair so stringy. So my first question would be, is your hair super fine? Second of all, is your hair wet enough when you're using the Denman brush? Okay, so that would be, if your hair's not wet enough, often I find that when I use a Denman brush on hair that's not wet enough, it gets very stringy. So maybe try like making sure your hair is soaking wet, making sure you have enough product in. Okay, 1 second. So wellness, you need to have a certain amount of followers to be able to go live. So I don't know how many followers you have. I forget what the amount is, whether it's 1,000 or 10,000 followers. So you see how the products can bubble up when your hair is nice and wet. Okay, now I like to go with my natural part. So when you go to like post, if you're trying to figure out how to go live, go as if you're going to post like a new piece of content, and one of the options should be to go live. And if you don't see that option, then it's probably because you can't go live yet for some reason. Okay. I don't know why. I'm struggling with my part. 1 second, guys. Let me just see if I can find an alligator clip. Here we go. You're welcome. I'll just clean this up. Oh, that's actually not bad. So today we used AG Recoil on my hair and the Lush Brand's Irish Sea Moss Gel. That gel, both of those products are like two of my go-tos. Lush Brands, if you want to give it a try, the code GHWH10, which is at the link in my bio, will save you 10%. Absolutely love both of those products. I don't work with Recoil. I keep using them every time I go live because I love those two products. Recoil is nice. It's a little bit heavy, so sometimes if I find my hair is getting a little bit over moisturized, I will switch to a spray leave-in conditioner for a couple of days. So do you see, I just wanted to focus on getting that first bend in the root, so I just kind of like pulled it to the other side here, and I'm just focusing on getting that first bend right here in the root. It's going to help me a little bit with volume. Okay. And here, I'm actually gonna do a brush curl here and do it in the opposite direction, even though it's gonna be mad at me. But I just want these to be perfect because they're gonna be so visible. And I like the ones right by my face to go away from my face. Now, it wants to go that way. Maybe we should just do that, eh? I don't know. I feel like that's gonna look weird. I think I'm gonna make it go in the opposite direction, even though the curl pattern naturally wants to go there. It's always dangerous when the curl pattern really wants to go in one direction and I make it go in the other, but we're gonna risk it for the biscuit today. Okay. What would I say my hair type is? I consider it wavy, but I know that's up for debate. It really depends how you define the word wavy. A lot of people define wavy hair as S-waves. That's not how I define wavy hair. I define wavy hair as curl pattern S-waves or spirals where the curl doesn't start at the root and the curl pattern has a tendency to fall out, as opposed to really secure curl pattern that will hold its spiral on its own. So because of that, I define my hair as wavy, but I know lots of people have different definitions of wavy hair. Yeah, my bangs definitely have a mind of their own. You guys know, if you've been here before, how much I fight with my frickin' bangs, but that's okay. We diffuse them first to make sure that they do what we want them to do. And then we are gonna use root clips today for everybody who's been asking me to do root clips on the live. We're doing it today. Wish I could make it to CurlyCon, but moving kid out of residence, my friend is going, hoping she can bring me back. Intel. Yes, well, they have virtual tickets too, eh? But if you're moving your kid out of residence, that might not help you. But if you can like hop in and out on your phone while you're like killing time, I'm pretty sure CurlyCon has virtual tickets. Well, they do have virtual tickets. So yeah, I use the Recoil, which is a leave-in product, the curl activator. And I really, really like the Recoil. It's such a great product. And then I also use the Love Your Curls Irish Sea Moss Gel. The Lust Brands link is in my bio with my discount code for 10% off, GHWH10. There's actually a way to tell, and you look like you have 2B2C hair. I actually don't subscribe to like typing someone's hair beyond wavy, curly, or kinky, coily, because nobody has just one curl pattern on their head. If you were to actually, first of all, I would type my hair when it's air dried, unstyled with no product in it, which is when we should all type our hair. But also, if you actually look at my hair in that state, I have so many different curl patterns on my head, so is it even really that useful? Like, I've got some 2A on my hair, and I've got some 2C on my hair. Like, what are we really trying to achieve there? Like, there's so many different curl patterns. You know what I mean? And I think that's true for a lot of us. I'm sure there's someone out there who has like uniform all one curl type, but it's not me. Okay, so I know I've just been curling this one bang for 10 years, but the end of it never ever wants to do what I want it to do. So the products on my hair so far are AG Recoil and Irish Sea Moss Gel by Lust Brands, which is my favorite gel. Okay, so now that I'm relatively happy with the styling that I've done, I always spend the most time just on this front area here. I'm gonna go through and do a couple of little root clips, which y'all have been asking me to give a try at home. Have you tried Diva Curl products? Yes. Diva Curl has some great products. What happens at CurlyCon, InnerSense is also a great brand. What happens at CurlyCon, it is like a convention in Toronto for a whole bunch of different curly hair brands, creators, stylists, basically like anyone related to wavy, curly, kinky, coily hair to come together, share information, and help you like really level up in your styling and share information basically. Okay. Be careful with bleach and Diva Curl. What do you mean bleach? Okay, I don't bleach my hair. Okay, so for root clips, I have these root clips. They're linked in my bio if you scroll to the very bottom of my link in bio. So what I'm gonna do first is just loosen it a little bit so it's not lying straight flat against my scalp, if that makes sense. And then I am going to this is so much easier to do on someone else. There we go. Add little root clips. Basically, you just want to create it so that the hair is going straight up from your scalp rather than lying flat against your scalp while you start to dry your hair. The idea is that you're going to get a little bit more lift at the root while you start the drying process, and as a result, you're going to have more volume at the root. Okay. Sorry, I'm not doing this in a mirror. I'm literally just doing this in my phone, and it's kind of tricky. So there we go. You don't want to open the root clip up too wide. Just open it up just enough so that you can get it in. And you want to put it in perpendicular to the scalp. So kind of do it by feel. I don't have that many clips here. Let me do one more. Okay. It's almost easier to do without looking. Maybe not. Maybe I'll put it in like this. This is much easier to do on other people's hair at the salon. I can just feel my mentor Marilyn like watching me being like, girl, what are you doing right now? What is even happening? Guys, I like literally can't do this on myself. I'm sure there's a learning curve here, but it is hard. I'm sure if I did this all the time, it would get easier. It's okay, I can't even hear it. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, so we got that one, and I'm gonna try and put one more root clip in, and then we're gonna start drying, because this is just so tricky. Okay, so the goal with this is to get lift at the roots while you start diffusing, if you can get them to stay upright. It does work really well. However, I'm just not very good at applying them to myself. I use them in the salon all the time. I'm just much better at applying them to other people. Let me just look in, wait, let me see if I can do it here. There we go. There we go. That's half decent. Okay, we're happy with that. Now, before I go in and do the rest of my hair, I like to, and by the way, I left one root clip because sometimes I end up pin curling just this bang because it's always really badly behaved. Have I ever tried the little claw clips? Not sure what they're called. Yeah, I think they're called roller clips, but they're often used as like sort of like a clip plop root clip type situation. And yes, I have them. I find them tricky to use, but I do have them. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of like hold this because I want this to kind of spiral a little bit better. This curl is always a little wonky. It's naturally not a very tight curl. It's a very loose curl. So I try to like kind of coax it into this shape. And I'm going to start hover diffusing my roots first in like kind of a bubble diffuse. And I'm going to, these clips are linked in my bio, guys. You can go check them out. It's not an affiliate link or anything. It's just like the only ones I can find. Wait, it might be an affiliate link. I don't think it is because I think I linked the website. If it's not an Amazon link, then it's not an affiliate link. Okay, I'm not plugged in. One sec. So again, the point of these clips is to give you a little bit more root volume because it gives you a little bit more lift. Now, I'm going to start by hover diffusing. The products that I'm using is AG Recoil and Lush Irish Sea Moss Gel. Lush brands. My favorite gel. Okay. So I just did a couple of root clips. You can do way more than that. That's just all I have on hand here. And the idea is you want them to be in an upright position. They're not, but whatever. I'm getting used to clipping myself. So I'm diffusing my roots first. How can you see if you have curly or wavy hair? I would just start styling. I mean, you type your hair on air dried hair that's unstyled. So when you just air dry your hair with no products in it and it's not styled, whatever your hair type is, when you do that, if it's not damaged, that's what your hair type is. Now, with that being said, that doesn't mean you can't encourage your curl pattern to be more spirally or wavy than it naturally is. Like, for example, by the time I'm done styling my hair, I make it look very spirally almost all the way through my hair, versus when it's air dried naturally, I have like 50% of my hair is like very loose S waves. So, you know, I think we can get very hung up on type. I think what you mean is, how can I tell, like, I don't know, if what you mean is how can I tell what products I should use? Wavy versus curly is just one of the factors. Your hair density, porosity, things like that is going to also be really important. The question I would ask yourself is, does my hair struggle to hold curl? Then I would use strong hold products. So I'm starting with a higher heat. As my hair gets more dry, I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit. Thank you, by the way, Tony, for answering people's questions. Are the root clips better than just flipping your head over? They can be, for a couple of reasons. One, if you have accessibility issues. Two, if you're using a hood dryer, then you can't flip your head upside down. Three, like, when I say accessibility issues, I mean if you have neck issues, or like for some reason you can't flip your head upside down, the root clips are great. Or if you're air drying, root clips are great. Are the results better? I don't know. I haven't used them a lot on myself, so I don't know that I've been able to like head-to-head compare it a lot. We're gonna see today how it turns out. Okay, now I'm gonna do my bangs a little bit. Yes, I will dry upside down. What kind of shampoo do you use? I'm weaning off of Shea Moisture. I use a couple of different shampoos. Some of my favorites are the Lush Brands the Lush Brands Step 1 shampoo, the Mela and Cara Balayage shampoo, but I also use the Malibu Sea Undo Goo clarifying shampoo and Hard Water Wellness shampoos. So I start on a high heat, guys, and I'm going to gradually turn the heat down to a lower heat setting as my hair gets more and more dry. So the idea here is I like to like get the cast on my bangs to set before I start flipping my hair back and forth. That's one of the benefits to using root clips. Yeah, if you haven't clarified your hair, let this be your sign. If you don't know what clarifying shampoo is a shampoo that is specially formulated to remove any buildup from your hair, especially if you are a drugstore girly. No shame, I understand. We all got a budget sometimes, or different priorities, even if you're not on a budget. But really, no matter what products you use, there's a possibility that the products you're using, or you know, environmental factors, your water, minerals from your water could be building up on your hair. If you have a lot of buildup on your hair is no longer going to be able to absorb moisture from the products or hydration from the water anymore, and you're going to end up with dry hair no matter what you add to it, okay? So we want to be clarifying our hair on a regular basis. For most people, depending on your lifestyle and the products you're using, that will impact how often you want to clarify. My favorite clarifying shampoos, if you don't have hard water, and you typically know if you have hard water is from like wells. If you have city water, you probably have soft water. But Malibu Sea Hard Water Wellness, if you have hard water, Malibu Sea Undo Goo, if you just need it for your products. Clarify clarifying shampoo will remove hair color. So some clarifying shampoos can affect your hair color. You're not wrong about that. I would talk to your hairstylist about the impact of the shampoo that you're using on the hair color that you have, because some of it depends on the product that's on your hair, and it definitely depends somewhat on the shampoo, the clarifying shampoo that you're using. I can't specifically speak to Malibu Sea about that, but some of it will definitely depend on the type of hair color that is on your hair. Okay, so I'm gonna take out these root clips now that my because my roots are dry, by the way. That's why I'm taking them out. And then we're gonna start hover diffusing the rest of my hair. So what is hover diffusing? Hover diffusing is where you literally hover the blow dryer about 10 centimeters away from your curl pattern, or from your hair, and let the curl pattern start to set, creating minimal frizz and minimal disruption to the curl pattern. So not everybody likes to hover diffuse. I personally like to hover diffuse because I like to let my curl pattern really like set in its cast in all those nice Denman brush curls that I just created. It's just something that I like to do. It's not for everybody. Some people like to go straight in with Pixie diffusing, okay? So this is when I flip upside down. Now, even though my roots are now wet, the rest of my hair is still, my roots are now dry. The rest of my hair is still quite wet, so I'm still on a higher heat setting. How often should you use a clarifying shampoo? I mean, it depends on your lifestyle. It depends on your products you're using, right? Like if you're using Shea Moisture shampoo or something like that, that really builds up on your hair a lot, you're gonna need to be clarifying more frequently. If you're using, oh, is there still a clip in my hair? Yeah, there totally is. Thank you for calling that out. If you're using like Inner Sense, which is a product line that's not going to build up on your hair, then you don't need to clarify that often. Typically, like every 30 days to every 6 weeks, you probably want to clarify, like as a general rule of thumb. But you also want to listen to your hair. Like typically your hair will start telling you when it's not happy. What to use to make it look wet and curly, not crunchy. So the crunchy feeling that you get from your hair is called a cast. Okay, let's talk about a cast. What is a cast? A cast is that stiff, shiny, crunchy feeling that you get from some wavy and curly hair products, typically gels and mousses. And the purpose of a cast, like why would anybody want that? Why do they make products? Hairspray can do it too. Why do they make products that do that? The cast creates a protective shell around your hair while the hair is drying so that no frizz is created while your hair is drying. Because while your hair is drying is when it's most prone to getting frizzy. Okay, so if there's that protective shell around it that's a little bit stiff and crunchy while it's drying, then it's not going to have any frizz while you're drying. Now, once your hair is 100% dry, what you can do is go in and scrunch your hair until that crunchiness goes away, and you still get all the benefits of the cast, the frizz-free benefits of having had the cast while your hair was drying, but you restore all of the volume and softness, and that all goes away from scrunching it, and you get the hold from the cast as well. Typically, products that have a cast also have hold. So a cast is actually typically not a bad thing. You're just not done styling your hair. Does that make sense? Sorry, I think I missed a couple questions there. But do you see how frizz-free my hair is right now? That is because there's a cast on it. It is way more frizz-free because I used gel, because there is a product in my hair right now that controls frizz and ends up having a little bit of a shell on it, a little bit of a crunchiness. And when my hair is 100% dry, I will scrunch my hair until any stiffness, any crunchiness goes away. Because once your hair is dry, it is far less susceptible to becoming frizzy. So then we can get rid of the cast because it's not needed anymore. Now, if you have very, very spirally or coily hair, you might even leave the cast. Some people who don't want to have really big, voluminous hair don't mind that cast. and they leave it for day one to get more longevity out of their style. That's up to you. That's a personal preference. Typically people with looser curl patterns, wavier hair, they want to get rid of the cast day one because it restores their volume. And usually we want to get as much volume as we can if you have your wavy hair. Not everybody, but general rule. What cast did I use? It's the Lush Irish Sea Moss Gel. Typically a gel will give you cast. So as you start your wavier curly hair journey, what should you be looking for in a haircut? The best advice I can give you is to get your hair cut by somebody whose Instagram profile is full of cutting wavy and curly hair. Because every haircut is going to be so unique. There's really very little in common from one head to another. There's very few universal rules. Like I could say layers are good for wavy and curly hair, but if you have very, very fine hair, that might not necessarily be as true for your hair, right? Like everybody's hair is so unique. You want to be going to someone who can customize and give you advice that's specific to your hair. So as a result, my best advice is to go to someone who knows what they're doing, and who has their profile, their portfolio, which is typically their Instagram account, is showing you that they can style people's hair that looks like yours. I typically don't recommend shampooing your hair every day. It's removing the natural hair oils from your hair every single day. Those hair oils are actually good for your hair, so they want to have a chance to work their way down the strand. And they're not going to have a chance to do that if you're removing them at the root every single day. So every day is a lot. Okay, so now my hair is getting very dry. I would say I'm like 80 to 90% dry. Sometimes I switch sooner, but now I'm gonna switch to Pixie diffusing, okay? This is very similar to what we're gonna cover in my breakout session at CurlyCon. If you live in the Toronto area, I would love to see you at CurlyCon this weekend, the 15th and the 16th. Tickets in my bio for virtual tickets or in-person tickets. I would love to see you there. Okay. So basically for Pixie diffusing, this is going to help encourage your curl pattern. Okay, if you go in and do it, well, yeah, it's just gonna help encourage your curl pattern. What I don't typically recommend, unless you like the results you're getting, is for you to turn on your diffuser and just start going like this. Okay, for most people, that's just gonna create a lot of frizz. Unless you're just trying to break your cast, you can do that to break your cast. But other than that, I would slowly lower into the mouth of your diffuser while it's turned off. Unless you have a Dyson, then you should be fine. But if it's not a Dyson, turn off. I'm also gonna go down to a medium heat now, and then hold it in position for like 20 seconds. I just got a cut at a very reputable salon here, and the stylist didn't know how to cut my hair, so I had to teach it to him. We don't have many curly girl friendly salons here, unfortunately. That sucks. That definitely sucks. Should I condition my hair every shower? Depends how often you're showering. I don't wet my hair every day. I only wet my hair once every like 4 to 5 days. So I sleep with my hair in either a silk bonnet or a silk scarf to protect it. By sleeping on silk and keeping it up off my neck, that way I don't, because if I'm only wetting my hair every 4 or 5 days, I don't want my sweat to be getting into my hair. And I sweat, my neck sweats at night, okay? So anyways, that really helps me prevent frizz because silk doesn't create as much frizz as like a cotton pillowcase. And also it holds my hair still so it's not like flopping around while I'm sleeping. So yeah, you can definitely see how Pixie diffusing is going to enhance your curl pattern. So my wavies out there, we love a good Pixie diffuse because it encourages your waves, right? Versus someone with curly hair might exclusively hover diffuse if they really aren't looking to encourage their curl pattern at all. You put mousse only on 3/4 of my hair. How do I fix it? I don't want to wash it again. I'm just back from the salon. Just wet your hair. You don't have to wash it again. Just wet your hair and finish applying product. Okay. So again, I'm just going back and forth and cupping it. Do you notice, guys, how this hand is not touching my hair? This hand, are you a stylist? I'm a hairstyling apprentice. I'm only a few months into my apprenticeship, so the vast majority of my education has been on my own hair. I do work in a curly hair salon, so I'm starting to learn on more and more hair types, but it's important to note I'm not a fully trained hairstylist yet. Sneeds, I don't call my hair curly, I call my hair wavy. I don't know why you're upset. And Courtney, no, I don't have the clients tip over. I put root clips in their hair. Actually, that's not entirely true. I put root clips in their hair, I put them under a hover diffuser, or sorry, what are they called? A hood dryer for 15 minutes. And then I have them tilt their head back while they're sitting in a chair, like in a salon chair. They just tilt their head back a little bit. It's a lot easier to do to someone else. They just tilt their head back and then they flip all their hair forward and I do their hair forward. But no, they're not like standing up like this. If you find this helpful, guys, don't forget to, do I have a few strands stuck to my back? Yeah, maybe don't forget that I'm going to be at CurlyCon this weekend. So I'm going to be in Toronto at CurlyCon on the 15th and the 16th. So if you see me at CurlyCon, feel free to just come up and say hi. I'd love to meet some of you. I think that'd be so cool. I'm also going to do a breakout session specifically just about drying wavy and curly hair, so feel free to come on up and say hi or join that breakout session. Okay, so now I typically, yeah, I know they don't teach anything about hairdressing school. That's at hairdressing school about curly hair. That's specifically why I'm going the apprenticeship route. So in Ontario, you have the choice to go the apprenticeship route where you only do 16 weeks of in-school training. But then you do like 3,000 hours of apprenticeship where you learn from a mentor or a sponsor. So that's the route I'm going, and I'm training in a curly hair salon from a curly hair specialist who has like 20 years experience. She is Marilyn from Curlology. She is so highly educated. She's amazing. It's such a privilege to be training under her. Like, I cannot even tell you, if you have an opportunity to have your hair cut by her, you are lucky. It is hard to get on her books. You can ask to go on her wait list, but currently she's not even accepting new clients. But if you follow her on Instagram, you can keep an eye out for when she is accepting new clients. Exciting you're working with Marilyn. I brought my daughter to her. So hard to get an appointment. Yeah, it really is. It's such a privilege to be training under her, specifically because you learn so little about curly hair in school. It's like, it is honestly so problematic. Like, so problematic. Like, I don't know what we're doing. It's like, just like you want to talk about systemic racism. Like, doesn't it cost a lot to do an apprenticeship? No, it's cheaper than going to beauty school, actually, because you get paid to do your apprenticeship versus beauty school. You're just paying tuition the whole time. Okay, so you didn't mind back in the 90s, lol, we didn't have curly salons back then. Yeah, exactly. But I think that's one of the big reasons, like, people get so upset at how expensive curly cuts are. But one of the reasons for it is, among others, is that it is advanced training. Whether or not we like to admit it, it is not included in your basic training. It is advanced training. In order to go to someone who is curly hair trained, typically it is part of an advanced training that they took. You know, it just is, because it wasn't included in their basic training. So when you're, when you're going to get a service that was part of advanced training, you typically pay more for that. Okay, so I'm just giving that a little pin curl for a little bit just to see if we can get that one to be better behaved. Why isn't it included? There is no good answer. There is no good answer for that, because the curriculum is outdated. Well, it should have never been like that in the first place, because of systemic racism. Like, there's no good reason. I would love, actually, like, I'm really not educated on that topic. Like, guys, I shouldn't really speak out of turn. It's not like I've gone and done a bunch of research as to the history of why and how kinky and curly hair became omitted from the curriculums in beauty schools. And it's very possible that there are some beauty schools out there that have curly hair as a larger part of the curriculum. So I do want to make you aware of that. I haven't done a ton of homework on that. However, I do know anecdotally that a lot of beauty schools don't have it as a big part of the curriculum. So. What is better, mousse or gel? It depends on your hair and depends what your goals are. That is not a simple answer. Mousse is going to give you less longevity, but typically more volume. Also, there's a million different types of mousse out there. Some mousse is just going to give you more volume. Some mousse is going to give you definition and volume. Some mousse is going to give you a little bit of hold. Gel is going to give you a lot more definition and hold, so it depends what your goals are. Sorry, YouTube, I always leave you behind. I forget that I'm filming on a landscape as well. How much gel did I use? The recording is going to be posted, so if you want to go back and see it afterwards, but like 3 squirts maybe, like maybe 2 tablespoons, I don't know. There's going to be some really interesting panels as well. Okay, yeah, Sneeds, you can see the curls popping in my hair now, but important to note that if you only see curls popping in my hair after they've been diffused and heavily manipulated, does that just mean I'm good at styling my hair? You know what I mean? So I type my hair based on when it's air dried and unstyled with no product. So my hair is actually, this diffuser, I don't know if it's still sold out, but it's the Lust Brands diffuser. If it's not still sold out, you can use my Lust Brands code, GHWH10 for 10% off. You can check it out. And it's, I think, around $200 mark, like 180 maybe. I forget whether that's the Canadian or US price. How do you find your part with curly hair? Depends how you like to wear your hair. I like to do my natural part, so I brush my hair forward, and that usually like helps me see where it wants to part, and then I just use a comb to make the part straight. Some people prefer to have no part, so they style it all forward. So it depends what your goals are, really. So I start on a high heat. As my hair gets more dry, I turn the heat down to like a medium. Are you using heat or is it on cool? So guys, my thing is, if you're diffusing your hair on cool heat, if you have very high porosity hair, okay, maybe. But like when you're diffusing your hair, it is the heat that is drying your hair because there should be minimal airflow when you're diffusing. Hi, Mom. If you have no heat, what is drying your hair? You're air drying. So that's my theory on that. You're welcome. So we've been going for about 59 minutes now. I'm almost done. I style my hair like this once every like 4 or 5 days, and I usually refresh it once in the middle of that. How do you stop your curls from dropping or falling out? That's a really good question. So we're gonna see if that was enough. Oops. Oh my God. I just ruined it as I pulled that pin curl out. Whatever. So if your curl pattern is always falling out, could be a sign that your hair wants a little protein. Keep that in mind. Hair that is lacking protein ingredients. And how do you get protein ingredients? You read the labels on your hair products. Any hair product, your shampoo, conditioner, leave-in products, they can all, deep conditioners, they can all contain protein ingredients. I do have a free guide that you can download under free resources if you go to my website or the link in my bio. that lists all the common protein ingredients. So that's one way to get protein in your hair. Using stronghold products like gel typically is going to really help with that. Diffusing is going to help with that. Needs 1 hour of doing my hair since I started doing my hair. About 40 minutes of diffusing. It takes me, thank you for the roses. It takes me about 40 minutes to diffuse with this diffuser. A little bit less when I'm using my Dyson, but I know most people aren't going to buy a Dyson at home. Yes, my hair is very layered. Okay, so now notice now my hair is pretty much dry. I'm going to be a little less precious now about turning my diffuser off in between moving positions, because once your hair is dry, remember, it's less susceptible to frizz. The whole point of turning my diffuser off in between moving positions was to reduce the amount of frizz I was creating. But if my hair is already fully dry and now I'm trying to break the cast with the diffuser, so now it's okay. It's okay for me to leave the diffuser on to save a little time. And it will create a little bit more frizz, but it'll also help break the cast a little. Do I ever shake my curls? All the time. So guys, just so you can see where I came from, this was like the kind of 3 months into me styling my hair. So this was the heat damage that I had. So you can see what it looked like from there down, how loose the curl pattern was. It was really, really heat damaged all there. And this was the new growth starting to come in. So you can see the difference that heat damage can really make. You can really see that line there. So then I started to realize that, like, oh, actually maybe it's worth sticking with this. I'm trying to see if I have another. Here's another really like good image that really shows you what I was dealing with beforehand. So you can see how straight those ends are. They were super, super heat damaged. Compare that to my ends now. Do you see how spirally my ends are now? Now part of that is because I'm Pixie diffusing them, of course. Part of them was just heat damage. And honestly, if I'm honest with you, I grew it out. I know bond treatments can help with that. That's not what I did. I grew it out. I didn't know anything about bond treatments or protein at the time. So for me, it's all just about growing it out and getting haircuts. I cut my hair, I mean, before this last cut, it was 10 months because I was in between hairstylists. But I think moving forward, I'll probably get my hair cut once every like 4 or 5 months. The heat damage was from straightening. Diffusers should not cause heat damage on your hair, guys. Diffusers should not be causing heat damage on your hair. Diffusing your hair is like putting your clothing in a tumble dryer. Straightening your hair is like using a clothing iron on your clothing. You know what I mean? You're far more likely to damage your clothes by using an iron than by putting your clothes in a dryer. So you can see I'm manic pixie diffusing now, guys. Like, I would consider this manic pixie diffusing, but my hair is already dry and I'm trying to break the cast now. So if you're just joining now, I didn't diffuse my whole head like this. It's only because it's dry now. Do you need to use heat protectant when you diffuse? I think that depends on a couple of things. One, that depends, do you already have heat damage? Two, are you exclusively pixie diffusing? And three, how fragile is your hair? Like, do you bleach your hair? Things like that. I don't use heat protectant. I think, in my experience, my hair is like, look at my hair. My hair, nobody can tell me my hair is heat damaged, okay? This blow dryer gets quite hot. And I diffuse my hair twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week, because sometimes during my refreshes, sometimes even 4 times a week. I don't ever use heat protectant on my hair. There's a lot of products on my hair, right? They don't necessarily have built-in heat protectant, but they are protecting my hair a little bit, and I'm just diffusing, right? I'm just diffusing my hair. I don't have hot metal pressed against my hair at 410 degrees, straightening it. So ultimately, there is no heat damage in this hair. It's very, very healthy. But use your good judgment. If you are growing out heat damage, if you have fragile, like low density, thin hair, where you're already dealing with hair loss, or where you're, you know, or it's already somewhat damaged from bleach or like something like that, then yeah, maybe get like a silicone-free, something like the Wizard by Amika, silicone-free heat protectant. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Or just buy hair products that have built-in heat protectant. What is hair bonding? Bond treatments like Olaplex is what I'm talking about, or K18. So again, I am Manic Pixie diffusing. I wouldn't recommend doing this for the whole time. I'm only doing this since my hair was like 99% dry, to break the cast and restore volume. I wouldn't be diffusing like this the whole time. If you're just joining now and you're like, that's how I diffuse my hair, why are my results like this? I only did this once my hair was like 99% dry. How do I protect my hair at night? With either a bonnet or a silk scarf, something like that, which is a method that is learned from the black and brown hair communities in order to protect our hair from frizz and preserve styles. What do you use on your hair after shampoo and condition before the diffuser? Today I used AG Recoil and less Irish Sea Moss gel. If you want to know what I asked for when I get my hair cut, I actually posted the whole consult on Instagram and on TikTok. It's the one where the blonde lady's standing behind me and it says consult. You can go check it out. Today was your curly wash day and you weren't looking forward to it, but now you're pumped. Go have fun. Okay. Okay, so we're pretty dry now. I'm just gonna finish scrunching it out. Let's see what we're working with. Ooh, my lower back. Ugh. AG Recoil and less Irish Sea Moss gel. I mean, this is just like honestly, we're not happy. We're never happy with this curl, ever, 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 but y'all know that. It's nothing new. Nothing new. Does anybody remember, were you here when this curl was wanting to go forward and I tried to brush style it backwards? That's what I get for that. That's what I get for trying to change the direction of a curl that didn't want to have its direction changed. Do we just leave it? I wonder if I should bother trying to switch it back. That's bad, eh? I have to be in the salon tomorrow, so maybe I should fix it. I think what I'll do is I'll just fix this one. So in case you don't know what's happening, this curl pattern, when I was styling it, it was wanting to curl forward, and then I took a brush curl and tried to reverse its direction. Janika, I will be looking for hair models for sure. But just keep an eye on my stories. Are co-washing and cleansing shampoos the same thing? No. Co-wash shampoos are like conditioners that are very cleansing, sort of. Versus a cleansing shampoo is like a very cleansing shampoo. Okay, you fix those with a curling wand? Yeah, you could totally do that with a little heat protectant. Yeah, lots of pet hair on my shirt. Nothing I can do about it. I have 2 cats, 2 dogs. I gave up fighting that a long time ago. Oh, that's so much fun, Hattie. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to try that one more time. I'm going to still do it in the opposite direction. even though that's just asking for trouble. I probably should just go with its natural curl pattern at this point. How do I have so much patience? Well, I mean, I have 275 of you in the room with me, which definitely gives me some motivation to get good results. I also have to work in a curly hair salon tomorrow. So like the more work I do now, the easier my refresh will be tomorrow. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to pin that for a moment. Yeah, my cats are usually out hunting. Okay. I'm gonna pin that for a moment and just like let it think about its behavior. You know what I've been struggling with? Individual curls, how you style each strand. Yeah, so you just can do a rake and shake method, or like when I get to the end and I'm unhappy with like the odd individual curl, you can do this, or you can totally just take a curling iron and just fix it. No hate there. If you are gonna do that, I would use a silicone-free heat protectant at that point, because your curling iron can heat damage. I've never used Devon brush before. I have just zero patience with it. You may try later. Yeah. Do you refresh every day? Absolutely not. I refresh like once in a 4-day period. And when I style my hair like this, I can typically get it to last for about 4 days. I will typically refresh if I'm going into the salon, because I really want my hair to look like perfect if I'm going to the salon. Or I will refresh, yeah, or like on day 3, I'll refresh, things like that. Okay. Just speed the process up. What's your opinion on Pacifica for waves? I've never tried, I've never even heard of it actually. By the way, guys, I'm gonna be at CurlyCon in Toronto on this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So if you're gonna be there, definitely say hi. I'm also doing a breakout session. If you wanna come watch me do a diffusing tutorial, we're gonna talk a little bit about air drying, a little bit about plopping and micro plopping. So definitely check that out. I hope I can meet some of you there. That would be amazing. Why do you on your hair to look so good if you're going to the salon? Oh, I work at the salon, that's why. How do I get my hair to curl from the top of my head? I already have layers. So a lot of it can come down to like rake and shake and diffusing or like styling your hair. And then diffusing your hair can really help. Using root clips can really help. Okay. This is like the most artificial thing. Like, this is basically the same thing as using a curling iron, by the way. Maybe slightly less damaging, not a huge amount less damaging, because that's like a metal root clip. How often do you use a co-wash? I don't co-wash my hair because I only shampoo my hair like once every 4 or 5 days. So by the time I go in, my hair's ready for a cleansing shampoo. If you're somebody who needs to wash their hair more frequently, you could try co-washing like if your hair gets really oily, you could try like every 3rd day, for example, co-washing, and then like, so shampoo, then 2 days later co-wash, then 1 or 2 days later shampoo, if you find you're needing to do it more frequently. Have you ever wanted that silky straight hair? Even though it's stupid, it's said to be the prettiest. I mean, said by who? But yeah, I do straighten my hair sometimes. Will you post this live to your profile? Of course, I always post my lives. What is a co-wash? A co-wash is a type of shampoo. It's kind of like a cleansing conditioner. It's very moisturizing, but it's not super cleansing. So you don't want to only be using a co-wash, guys. Yeah, I love my waves for sure. But I like straight hair too. Like, nothing wrong with that. For the first 28 years of my life, I exclusively straightened my hair. So I think it's fun to wear it straight every once in a while. I probably wear it straight like 4 times a year. I am Canadian. Yeah, I'm gonna be in Toronto for CurlyCon. Yeah, I'm not convinced those root clips did a whole lot for me, but I think it's more to do with my technique of applying them is not great. So Lorena, that has more to do with your internal view of beauty standards. I find the longer that I've been wearing my hair wavy, the more I have changed my internal perspective of beauty standards. So when I first started wearing my hair wavy, I was very, very critical, and I only wanted to wear my hair if it turned out perfect. Like, it had to be perfectly frizz-free. Every hair had to be in the perfect place, or I didn't want to leave the house with it. I'd put it up in a bun otherwise. The more often that I wore it wavy or like this, the more often I wore it natural, the more forgiving I was of it, and the more I just appreciated it for what it was. And now I'm not so critical. Like, that's why I only refresh my hair like once every wash cycle. So that's really something that you want to keep in mind, is the way you see yourself in the mirror will change. You will be less critical of your own hair for the longer that you wear it wavy or curly or kinky coily, whatever it is. Have I trimmed my hair? Not super recently. I had it like cut quite a bit, but not in the last, I think it was like a month ago, maybe. I had a lot of length taken off. Aw, you guys are sweet. Okay, so I started with a pin curl, and then just to like speed up the drying process, I took it out. Again, the rest of my hair is dry. We're just working on this one individual curl, and then the rest of my hair will be done. And then we're gonna add a little bit of hairspray. And then I'll show you how I finish the style to get a little bit of volume. So my curl pattern doesn't start right at the root, and anyone whose curl pattern doesn't start right at the root, most of you probably know the struggle of not having as much volume as you might like, if you're someone who likes a lot of hair. So something that will help, you could use something like, I think it's called Plus Size by Amika. You can use something like that at your roots. That can help. Using root clips properly. I clearly didn't use them very well because it didn't help very much with my root volume. I'm still working on applying them to myself. I'm much better at applying them to other people. And diffusing your hair can really help. What can you do for protein overload? Clarify your hair, and maybe get a trim if it's a really bad case, and cut out protein products for a little while. 1 second. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do is add, this just helps me a little bit with longevity. So you can see this will loosen a little bit, but you can see it's just a lot better behaved than it was before, which has helped kind of with the overall vibe. It will fall flatter, I think, so. 1 second, I'll be right back. This is the Bounce Curl alcohol-free hairspray. It adds like a nice amount of shine to my hair. The only thing is I don't like the nozzle. You have to spray it a couple times so it comes out evenly. But I like to spray it all over, and because it's alcohol-free, oh God, I just sprayed myself in the face. Because it's alcohol-free, it doesn't dry immediately, but I like to spray it all over, and then I finish diffusing. It encourages the curl pattern. The friggin' nozzle, it just sprays in whatever direction it wants. Okay, and then I'm going to do this. Are the products that I used available in the US? Yeah, they should be. I'm pretty sure AG is available, although it's all Canadian brands that I used. AG Recoil is Vancouver-based. Lust Brands is a Toronto-based company. Woo! And then Bounce Curl is not a Canadian company. You only wash your hair once or twice a week. Should I use, whoops, one sec. Should I use a cleansing shampoo on those days? Yes. What's the name of the hairspray? It's the Bounce Curl hairspray. I think it's linked in my bio. If you want to take a screenshot, go for it. Keep in mind, I'm not happy with the nozzle. It also leaves a cast on your hair, guys. I always want you to know that. It leaves a cast on your hair. So it's not like a productless feel. It's going to have a cast. You can either scrunch away the cast or you can leave it. I don't mind the cast on my hair. I like that cast. It makes me feel like my style is gonna last longer. But not everybody likes this hairspray. It's not for everyone because you can definitely feel it. Okay. So again, if you're just joining the live, guys, this is not how I typically diffuse my hair. My hair is dry. So I'm breaking a cast with this right now. That's not my typical diffusing technique. What's the best way to make curls look perfect? Mine are the same as yours, but slightly tighter. Oh gosh, I have no idea how to answer that question. I have a whole routine, and every little thing I do in my routine contributes. There's no like one specific thing that fixes it. Sneeds, I'm pretty sure they were trolling. And yes, Tony, I totally agree with that. It depends what you consider perfect. Everybody has different goals with their hair. Okay. Let's try and dry my hand enough to actually be able to scrunch it. So, let's see what we're working with now. So one of the things I like about the Bounce Curl is it definitely makes your hair quite shiny. I kind of like that. So you'll see how much more shiny my hair is now. I don't know if you can tell. Of course, this frickin', it's fine. We're not gonna obsess about it. You need 4C advice. I'm not really trained on 4C hair. I will be soon, but I'm not right now. Okay, so we definitely still have a cast here. So Abby, what you can do is go back and watch this recording on either TikTok or Instagram Live. Like I'm gonna save it as a reel, or on YouTube. This whole live will be saved. So you can come back and check it out, and in the description I'll link the products that I used. So how can we get, oh, I don't have my tweak. Usually I use a little bit of cream hairspray at the roots, like zhuzh up the volume, but I'll just do it with my hands so you can kind of see what I do. It just won't last as long. And now I'm just trying to restore volume to my hair a little bit. My hair's still a little bit damp, so I probably should keep diffusing, but whatever. Okay. You could do this with a little bit of hair oil on your hands if you wanted to, but do you see how that's like busting up the cast? So if I had like a texture spray or something, it would help me to maintain this volume. I just don't have any in front of me right now. There you go. There we go. Even after it is dry, it grinds up my hands. It's probably something to do with the products you're using, like, or maybe your hair's not getting 100% dry. Try diffusing your hair. If it's like coming off on your hands, it sounds like maybe you're using a product that isn't getting, like if you're air drying right now, maybe your product's not getting 100% dry. I don't use a lot of oils because yeah, I just find they do weigh my hair down a little bit. Is your hair cut a specific way? Absolutely. I get it cut by a curly hair specialist. Finger coiling, yes. I did do quite a bit of Denman brush curls all through like the top of my hair. So this is definitely artificially enhanced. How do natural oils don't weigh hair down? So they can on some people, and it depends on the type of hair oil that you're using. Like if I was to use Jamaican black castor oil on my hair, it would absolutely weigh my hair down. Using like a little bit of argan oil in a serum probably wouldn't weigh my hair down. So like it depends on your hair. It depends on your hair density, your porosity, not density, your hair thickness and your hair porosity. Like, no, that's okay, Sneeds. We're all learning here. But this is the danger of curly hair influencers like myself, who have learned all of our information on our own hair. And so we give information, and I'm calling myself out here, we give information that we think is gospel because it's been so true on our own hair, and maybe on like the few heads of hair of like our friends who probably look like us and have hair like us. It's been true on those heads of hair, so we think it's true universally. And this is why I'm becoming a curly hair specialist. This is why I'm becoming a hairstylist, because I want to learn the difference between what I think is universally true and what is actually universally true, which, spoiler, almost nothing is universally true. Very, very few things are universally true. So that's literally one of my big motivators in becoming a hairstylist, is I want to know how to treat all curl patterns and not just my own. Okay, I'm gonna hop off now, guys. Literally TikTok's like, don't forget to take a break. You've been live for 90 minutes. They fall flat throughout the day. You can use like a Tweak by Curl Keeper, which is a cream hairspray just at your roots. Zhuzh it up, that can help, or a texture spray. That can also help. Wee Dad has a great texture spray. How should you train your hair to not wash it every day? It's damaging my curls. Every second day, water wash your hair. Like scrub it with your hands at the scalp or with a scalp massager to loosen up the sebum and the oil and the dirt buildup at your scalp and help it move down. So it will help reduce the look of oiliness at your scalp without using shampoo and stripping your hair. Do that every second day for a little while. That should really help. I don't recommend Shea Moisture. Okay, I think I've answered most of the questions. If I didn't get to one of your questions today, you can definitely always send me a DM on Instagram, and I will try to get back to you guys. The other thing is, don't forget, I'm going to be at CurlyCon this weekend on the 15th and 16th. I definitely hope I'm going to get to meet some of you. Do I wear glasses? Yes. Guys, I'm just a catfish out here pretending I don't wear glasses. The hairspray was Bounce Curl. Alcohol free. You can take your screenshots. Definitely come out. There's virtual tickets and in-person tickets at the link in my bio. I'm going to be at CurlyCon. I'm also going to be hosting a breakout session specifically about drying wavy and curly hair. I would love to see you at that breakout session in person, IRL. It's going to be so much fun. And if you want to know all the products I used today, when I post it to both YouTube and Instagram, I'm going to, of course, list the products that I used today, so you'll be able to see it in the post after the fact. I used AG Recoil, Lus Brands Irish Sea Moss Gel, and I used, so again, that's AG Recoil, the curl activator, and then I used Lus Brands Irish Sea Moss Gel. The link in my bio has a code for Lus Brands for 10% off, GHWH10. And then I also used Bounce Curl alcohol-free hairspray, which is not for everybody. It leaves a strong cast. I warned you, the nozzle sucks, but I like the product. Okay, don't come for me when people comment and they're like, I hated this, it left a cast on my hair. I like it, okay? I like it, I have warned you, it's not for everyone. Okay, I love you guys. I hope to see you. I don't know yet if I'm going to be going live next Tuesday. Some of y'all know I suffer from post-concussion syndrome. This weekend is going to be a lot for me at the convention, so I might have to take a break next Tuesday. If I don't see you next Tuesday, I will be back at it the following Tuesday, and then that might be my last Tuesday live for a little while, okay? because I'm gonna be in school at Algonquin College for 8 weeks. But anyways, I'm gonna post about it a little bit so you guys can know what to expect. I am probably going to be replacing my, thank you Tony, replacing my live time with like a different time slot. But we're gonna have to see, we're playing it by ear a little bit as I get more information as to what to expect. Okay, love you all, bye-bye.